Have you ever noticed how motivation disappears exactly when you need it most? When life flows easily, motivation arrives like a faithful companion. But when pressure mounts, when stress tightens its grip, when exhaustion seeps into your bones, motivation falls silent and slips away. That's when most people stop. They pause. They convince themselves they'll resume when inspiration returns, when they feel ready again. But winning mentally has never depended on motivation. It has always rested on something quieter, something far stronger. This story matters because pressure is not some rare interruption in life. Pressure is life itself. And if you only move forward when you feel inspired, pressure will defeat you again and again. Today, I want to share a simple story about discipline under pressure, not the loud, aggressive kind that burns out quickly, but the calm, steady kind that endures even when motivation has abandoned you completely. There was a man named Arin who lived an ordinary life. He worked long days that bled into longer nights. He carried invisible weight on his shoulders, the kind nobody sees but everyone feels. Bills piled up, expectations mounted, unfinished goals haunted his quiet moments. From the outside, he appeared fine, functional, normal, but inside, emptiness had hollowed him out, and exhaustion had taken residence where ambition once lived. Each morning he made promises to himself. Today would be different. He would be more focused, more disciplined, more consistent. Today, everything would change. But every morning, his body felt impossibly heavy. His mind searched desperately for motivation, for excitement, for some spark of energy. And when it found nothing, he delayed. Just today, he whispered to himself, "I'll begin when I feel stronger." Days dissolved into weeks. Pressure accumulated like storm clouds gathering on the horizon. One evening, after another day that demanded everything and gave nothing back, Arin sat alone in the fading light, staring at the floor. He felt paralyzed, not because he didn't know what to do, but because something inside him refused to move. That's when an older man, someone Arin had noticed before but never approached, settled into a seat nearby. "You look like someone waiting for permission," the man observed, his voice calm as still water. Arin glanced up, confused. "Permission for what?" "To begin." Arin exhaled slowly. "I'm waiting to feel ready. The motivation just isn't there anymore." The man nodded, a knowing look crossing his weathered face. "That's good." "How could that possibly be good?" "Because motivation is unreliable," the man replied. "It arrives and departs on its own schedule, but discipline remains." Arin folded his arms, defensively. "I've tried discipline. It crumbles the moment pressure gets high enough." The man smiled gently. "No, what you tried was discipline fueled by motivation. That combination always fails eventually." He leaned forward slightly, his eyes holding Arin's gaze. "Tell me, what happens inside you when pressure rises?" "I overthink everything," Arin admitted. "I argue with myself endlessly. I wait for the right feeling to arrive." "That's exactly where you lose the battle." The man reached down and lifted a small stone from the ground, pressing it into Arin's palm. "Hold this," he instructed. Arin held it loosely, uncertain. "Now squeeze it as hard as you possibly can." Arin tightened his grip until his knuckles whitened. His hand trembled. His entire arm grew rigid with tension. "That's what pressure does to you," the man explained. "It creates tension. It triggers emotion. It makes you reactive instead of intentional." He paused. "Now place the stone down, slowly, deliberately." Arin lowered it carefully onto the ground. "Discipline is not about squeezing harder," the man said. "It's about placing the stone down the same way every single day, regardless of how you feel inside." Silence hung between them. "Discipline under pressure," the man continued, "means choosing one small action and completing it even while your mind protests." "But what if I don't feel strong enough?" Arin asked quietly. "Strength isn't required," the man replied. "What's required is acting before your mind begins its negotiations." He paused, then spoke words that would echo in Arin's memory forever. "When pressure arrives, stop asking yourself how you feel. Ask yourself what is required. Then do only that. Nothing more, nothing less. That night, something shifted within Arin. When morning came and exhaustion greeted him before his eyes fully opened, he didn't search for motivation. He made no grand promises. He chose one simple action. Just one. He completed it slowly, without enthusiasm, without ceremony. His mind protested immediately. This is meaningless. This changes nothing. He didn't argue back. He offered no defense. He simply finished what he started. The next day, pressure returned, wearing a familiar face. Doubt accompanied it. Again, Arin chose one small task and completed it. Some days felt heavier than mountains. Some days resistance screamed louder than reason. But gradually, Arin noticed something remarkable. Pressure no longer dictated his actions. His movements remained steady regardless of the storm inside. Weeks accumulated into months. Discipline transformed from something he forced into something that carried him. It became structure, not struggle. Under pressure, while others scattered and panicked, Arin moved with quiet purpose. Not fast, not flawlessly, but consistently. One evening, he encountered the older man again. "You look different," the man observed. "I don't feel different," Arin replied honestly. "But I act differently now." The man's smile held warmth. "That's precisely how mental strength is forged," he added. "Pressure doesn't break you. It simply reveals who you've trained yourself to become." Arin finally understood the truth he'd been circling his entire life. Winning mentally isn't about feeling motivated. It's about practicing discipline precisely when motivation has disappeared. Pressure will arrive. Discomfort will visit. The mind will resist with everything it has. That's simply the human condition. But every time you choose action over emotion, you claim a quiet victory that compounds over time. If you're hearing this while waiting to feel ready, stop waiting today. Choose one small action. Complete it before sunset. Do it without drama or ceremony. That is discipline under pressure. If this story spoke to something inside you, share it with someone who feels trapped right now. Leave a comment about the pressure you're facing. And remember this truth above all others. You don't need motivation to win mentally. You need calm, consistent discipline. Begin again.